All right, welcome. It is time for some pirating on landlocked pirating. As our crew has begun exploring the area known as the Deadlands, all in search of one Bingle's Bink, the mother of Tonk's child, and all around good artificer, I guess. And we went looking for her, and our crew has gotten the taste of the horror that is the Deadlands. Um, Quite the insane amount of creatures, and have found a colony of those who seem to have survived the initial um, arcane accident that seemed to have caused the Deadlands. And from there, our crew has been trying to figure out more and more of what to happen and to earn some help from our people as well. In doing so, they began clearing out more of a cave system. So if they need to, this group could move to another place, especially since they weren't sure that this crew would be able to keep secrets or promises or evade capture. And our crew summoned on a tiny little dragon they had to clear out, and thusly have a clutch of 9 dragon eggs they're currently deciding precisely what to do with, as they need to make their way back. And of course, we've got Jajal, the stray cat themselves, back, and we are very excited as well. So, with that, we will get back to the insanity.
Thank you.
Remember, we have throw some sweet advantage in chat. But now all of you are in the darkened area where you've slain this dragon. It's dust and particles left over from this disintegrate spell or being caught on the wind, and you currently have this clutch of dragons for you, or dragon eggs, I should say. What would you like to do?
Well, if Tonk actually expresses that he wants to get rid of them, don't think I had any hand, but
No, I'm fine with letting the resistance have them for whatever they want to do with them. I'm just saying that I don't think we should be taking any of the eggs out of the Deadlands. That's all Tonk's concern is.
do they have any interest in keeping an egg?
I mean, why wouldn't they?
I mean, that was what we were going to see. We were going to bring one to them and be like, hey, we have these eggs. If you'll want them for food, they can be food. If you want them, whatever you want them for.
Exactly. I guess I thought they were closer to us. I mean, yeah, they could be or something, if not substance.
So I had thought Simon was grabbing one and we were headed to the resistance.
Okay.
Yep, I got a big egg.
You're muted.
Did we pause to rest at all?
I think you did a short rest.
Not that it's gonna help me or
Oh, okay.
Alan.
Yeah, but it'll help me.
I guess fair enough.
By the way, Talon's looking pretty sad at this point.
Simon's not looking too good either.
Are you guys not feeling well?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. What else are we figuring out? All right. So, anything as you make your way back?
Sure.
No. Who's got those blight effigies that we found? That Tonka identified.
I was probably carrying them, but if somebody
Okay,
else
so-
wants them, they can have them.
So I coded them, so you can add them as actual items. Then
How many of them did we have?
3.
All right.
So we're just
Okay.
heading back to the.
Yep. Make your way. Coming back, you see the city itself moving quickly. They kept on their own things that are surprised to see you back so relatively soon in the day's travel. Where would you like to go?
To the. Well, if we can find floatings in the council, because they're the ones who tasked us with finding a place, right?
Yeah. Talking to the council, I would say, yeah, Floating Corpse. They, yeah.
So I don't remember that woman's name.
Yeah, it's quick enough meeting where they are able to check it out. They go about destroying the eggs that you are not taking care of.
Oh, so they don't want any of them?
They're not interested in keeping the eggs now.
Okay. So then I guess we'll just also destroy them all unless Simon wants to. Yeah. Yeah, because we decided we're not taking any out, so we'll destroy them all.
I guess.
Amazing. All
So
right.
there's two more places that we must go to check out, correct?
I think talk with them there. If I think you've proven yourselves, we can begin building now, and they will produce 2 glowing green vials to go for your infected.
What exactly is in these? Is this some kind of soup or something? What is this?
You don't want to know.
Do you happen to have any more for the future, possibly?
Late. Well, I have some things to say about them. They give you about 12 hours of reprieve from the symptoms of the curse.
Oh,
Just 12 hours, not more? They don't get rid of the curse. They just make you sleep one night and you're better. This is not what we bargained for.
If you wanted our medicine, this is what our medicine is.
Okay.
We
But-
make many here who are infected need. We try to give. At first, we could give enough for once every day so they could sleep, and then it became different. As more would become infected, we needed to, or cursed. Some go 2 days, push it to 3.
How does one go about removing this curse in its entirety then?
We've never done it.
So, I am good with arcane things and growing things. I don't necessarily need to know all of the details of this. I am only offering this in that I may be able to help however it is that you make these. You say some people go 2 to 3 days without it because you can't make enough. I may be able to help with that.
There are the trees on the surface. Make expeditions. It was once the Trispire Park. Those particular trees and ones that grow around the old cemetery. We can mulch them. They seem to always be wet and moist, even though they decay. We distill it down into this potion with other processes. We haven't had any go up in some time. Come to the end of our supply.
Well, should we come across this, we will certainly see what we can do about getting you more, and I'll take a look to see if there's anything I can do to assist in the long term.
I nod.
So, Talk, I must be hearing things. We just killed a dragon to get one good night's sleep, right?
We killed a dragon to gain goodwill here.
Okay.
The immediate payoff is one night's sleep, but the long-term payoff, though, may be future night's sleep as we need them. While this particular potion might not cure it, the way they talk about it, the folks that are in their good graces do get them periodically. And we're doing this to be in their good graces.
Right.
That's the trade here.
Okay.
Well, maybe we are successful and we only need one more sleep.
I also love the idea that Tonk, as not particularly charismatic as he is just like, hold on, I'm having to explain this, like, in it, and like, no, that's just sort of bluntly like, no, that we're doing this. I'm not gently telling Talon this, right? It's just like, no, Talon, it's, I don't know. This amuses me.
If Tonk says so.
Also, I am not sure that I would have been, like, in that whole... I probably would have been talking to Talon, but I might not have lowered my volume full enough that the council didn't hear my response to Talon.
I mean, they kind of know what's up, you know.
All right. We just wanted to see if you all wanted the eggs. If you don't, then we'll get back to work.
So they start with that. So you each have one to get night's sleep. And they now will allow you to go to the surface, at least they'll show you the way, and you're able to come back. That's the biggest thing you have. You now have a base that you can come back to.
And they had no knowledge of where the beacons were, right?
They had no knowledge that the beacons even existed.
Fair.
So the implication here is that Tonk would be spending some of his time working in the cavern to get the cavern prepped as the possible fallback base, and then there'd be a split there. Sometime working on fallback base, and sometime us actually going out and doing our group stuff, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing they wanted you to do is clear out and find a new place. So whatever, they're good with that. It would just depend on what you do besides that. Like you now have freedom to do what you want.
Okay. So they didn't have any knowledge of the beacons, and they said that there were many graveyards. But they also said that there were particular trees near a particular graveyard.
Yes.
Tonk is going to be hopeful here that that's the graveyard, because that's the only. Yeah, maybe that's the one. I don't know.
And it was described to us as the burial ground. So it must be the original burial ground, the old burial ground. Like there's got to be something special about it if it was referred to from the outside.
The graveyard that they said the tree is at is they called the old graveyard. So
cool. That sounds like the one. Let's go there.
Should I take a nap first, or at least?
Yes. Absolutely. We should get the long rest that.
I only need about 4 hours. I'll be fine if I can just get some of that green liquid done real quick.
I need a full 8 hours.
Okay.
I mean, above board. You technically still need the full 8 hours as well.
Yeah. It's perception.
All right. So you take your rest. So because of the time, if you want to go ahead and take a long rest as a party, that's totally fine.
Yeah, might as well.
Hit points. I have them now.
Right? Did not has.
I'm gonna get back up to triple digits, boys.
Kind of hate you right now.
Amazing.
Gaining 152 hit points.
Stupid fighters.
I'm not a fighter.
Close enough.
Fuck that again.
Okay. Well, we're moving out soon, correct?
Yeah, once they get their sleep.
Well, yeah, before I guess if sleep goes well, before we head up to up the surface, I'll make sure to cast Pass Without Trace.
All right.
Whenever we get there, if we survive rest.
Okay. Anything else down here?
I got nothing.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so where about do you want to go? So we've got the graveyards. You were getting some idea of that Ingalls was captured in some place or restrained. What do you want to do?
So, from Tonk's perspective, I think Tonk would look. We want to rescue Bingles, but at the same time, I think Tonk is also aware that if we don't do something about what's going on, that we might rescue a very tired and very weak Bingles, and then she runs off to go do more shenanigans because she thinks this needs to be done. So I'd like to have the situation in a little bit more control before we pop Bingles out. And I think, from Tonk's perspective, there is overlap helping the Resistance crew with and own cursed party members by finding something out about these trees, getting more of the tree, whatever. And that's near the old graveyard, which is part of the story that was told and is one of the key locations. So I think from Tonk's perspective, first stop are the trees on that old graveyard.
Okay.
Anyone else, feel free to.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, as long as
Also-
it's not giant detours to try to fix the whole Deadlands before getting Bingles. Because I know Keldrum's like, I'm here for Bingles, and the Deadlands can fucking rot.
Yeah, and I think what Tonk feels like he needs to handle is something about these beacons, because that was what drove Bingles to come in here and deal with the problem in the first place.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Tonk is like, oh, we need to solve the Deadlands, but we need to get some sort of handle on the beacon prop before we pop Bingles out. Is his perspective. Also, if we pop Bingles out, that shows our hand a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
we are here and we're here to fuck shit up.
Yeah. That's fair. There is no putting cat back in bag. An angry Bengals out of character. An angry Bengals will leave a trail of wreckage.
So, that's Tonk's perspective on this at the moment. Also, I'm going to be entirely honest. I remember that we got some story about the shenanigans and these 3 particular places. I don't remember a whole ton about that story, so I may need, a little bit of refreshers as we hit some of these spots, and I can't remember exactly what was supposed to be happening.
Okay. So you want to go to trying to find some of the gardens and the grave yards within them?
Yeah, so when she mentioned the trees that they were using for this medicine, she said the trees could be found in these parks and also by the old graveyard. And
Yes.
so I was looking sort of that overlap where that old graveyard may be the burial grounds we need to investigate, and also it may have these trees. So that overlap of objectives is what Tonk is kind of clued in on,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think Floating Corpse needs to lead you to the surface, so he will. Well, thank you for helping. I hope everything will go well.
Thank you.
Because
Silly.
I can guide you to the surface. It's up to you. I can wait to keep the coast clear, or I can come with you. I do not know the city very well, especially the new. I talked to some of the harvesters of your potion. All they said is not all the trees are dead. But not unusual for people to be swallowed up by the earth, they said, or to be looked away from and no longer seen.
Well, that's reassuring. Okay.
You're asking about the Arlirina. Heard they've not gone in, but they say blood moves within that place.
As bad as that sounds, that probably sounds like the place we need to go.
Uh,
That is the life we live. The worse a place sounds, the more we probably need to go there.
Fine. Your biggest problem on the surface is the gods. We call them the Ebon Riders.
The
night-looking
Evernighters?
Ebon Riders.
So, Talon, you seem to have a way with arcane arts. Do you know Pass Without Trace?
I don't actually.
Okay,
I usually just go invisible instead.
that's fair. Does Royden know Pass Without Trace?
Yeah, he said he cast it.
Okay.
Or that he would when we got up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we got to the surface, I was casting it.
Okay. We can alternate a little on that because I also have it, and sneaking from these guards is going to be better than having to fight them.
Seeing as they're Death Knight Plus.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Don't need that. And as far as floating corpse, as far as staying there to keep the way clear or come with us, as long as he can point us in the right direction, I don't want to put him at any more risk than needs be.
Especially since he said he doesn't know the city all that well, anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, if he knew, like, all of the back roads and everything,
Yeah, as you say, the problem is that though some of us knew the city, we found very quickly that all the social rules, everything's changed. Things that were safe are no longer. We have an idea of the layout, but also one survivor made it well before they succumbed to the disease. That they had run and found streets closed off that were never. Which means, don't tell everyone this, but there are rumors around among the surface seekers. They say that the ghoulish Dominion people give birth. They expand.
Ghouls giving birth.
I know.
Y'all got a weird fucking world here.
They
isn't the world that you live in just perennially nighttime?
Yeah, but like it's consistent.
That's weird.
To you, maybe. But ghouls and live birth.
I think it's more.
That's
like
weird to
death
everyone.
birth. I feel like that's more on death birth.
Right. Anyway, let's go.
All right. So specifically, where are you going again? So I'm on the same page.
The graveyard with the trees.
Okay. All right. Pull up.
So, as of right now, I am aware of 4 objectives for this city. I don't know if all of them need to be done or if all of them are tied together or that. But the 4 objectives that I'm aware of are something do something with these 3 important locations. Right? I assume these important locations, there's something that we can do there. The beacons, which may or may not be at those 3 locations. There may be, I don't know how much overlap there is there. But the locations, the beacons, obviously rescue Bingles, and there's sort of the objective of making sure we have enough potions so that our party can sleep. And does that cover everything that we're aware of?
Seems about right.
Yep.
Unless we find something that can actually get rid of the curse.
So,
But I think right now we know Greater Resto, and we're not sure if anything else does.
yeah. So, at this point, I think the overlap between the graveyard and the tree is going to be a good starting point as anything.
All right. I can feel like the best place then is to bring you up near the Penta Market. What it once was. From there you can find your way.
Is the market also one of the places that we needed?
The market square.
Would that be the market square? Is that what you're...
The market square is, yes, in the center of the Penta Market.
Awesome.
That was... Alright, deal. Then you would be south of the Tri-Spires. And take out a acorn and present it. It is purely black. Goes. Now, keep in mind, I am not going to reveal a place to those who pursue you, but when you are ready, if you crush this and hold on to the pieces, it should help us find each other. I will try to open a passageway down as close as I can to you.
All right.
Right. Very good. In that case, the fountain would be best then. And begins leading you through tunnels once more. Back into the main sewage areas, and here with him with you, you get the between his pauses and going ahead and kind of rerouting around things. Goes, shit, we need to go another way, and moves you over again. That he is avoiding as much like all conflict essentially, just by being able to just sense what is happening, having a deeper connection.
Is there a discernible pattern to it? Like, does he have some method to it, or just have this like preternatural sense of where the bad things are?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Sure. Why not? 26.
Oh, damn.
Really?
Okay. You look. It seems to be a mixture. Sometimes you'll see a footprint, and he doesn't like the type of footprint it is. Other times, it's like the way that the slime or black moss has grown is at a somewhat odd angle that he kind of backs off of from. Like a mixture of actual signs and potentially superstitious things that have come on the way.
So it's Talon's very visibly studying him as he makes his decision, trying to figure out like the puzzle of what it is he's trying to do.
Very good. And you get some of it. One thing that he seems to pay a lot of attention to, and it's hard to see that it looks like they're. You think of the red moss, and they have planted in this black and red plant that seems to be various places. And he seems to like where the leaves are red and where the leaves are black, he tends to avoid. Soon.
Can I make a nature check about that moss?
You made some about the moss before. This is a little bit different.
Okay.
So different plant.
Oh, it's a derivative of it. Like they've been using this. Within 20 minutes, he kind of comes to a stop, and he looks around. He looks at a wall. Goes, all right. And he will bow before it, as he simply says, "We take our lives in our hands, and know we may never see our caverns again." And there's this clicking sound as the door slides open, or this wall slides open, revealing a little bit of a staircase that spirals upward. And you see the purple light coming down. She says, "All right. So, once more. The rule on the surface is nothing is ever the same. It is, those who study it, Bingos actually, said it is a mass evolution.
Would he have used the name, or would he have referred to as the repenting one? Isn't that
Actually, he would have, thank you. He said the repenting one, kept on saying that the evolution is happening at the rate, she said something of 1,000 years a day. It's quite. Then she said, "Oh, that might be extreme," but the point was things changed quickly. So even what we know was at least 3 weeks ago, the last expedition that came back with about a quarter of its members with the ingredients. It's tradition to let those infected risk their lives and often die to get the cure. Once you are up there, stay low in the fountain. Mark the time you wish to go across. You'll see the citizens above.
all right?
Okay. All right. Then I believe you did have a pass without trace ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just out of professional curiosity, if things are supposed to be changing, like, at a rapid pace, do I actually sense any chronergy or any time magic at all once we get up outside.
Make an Arcana check.
Damn it. Here goes nothing, kids. 19.
Now getting up here, more in the city. It is. Energy here is thick. It is massive. It's as if a large time spell is being cast without end. You feel the waves moving across the land.
Is it resisting me? Is it going along with me? Like, having studied this for a rather long time, like, does it feel like this is manipulable, or is it like am I swimming through a time quagmire here?
I think possibly if you had time to study and get used to it, you might be able to manipulate the energy here.
Okay.
The major thing here is it's just it's as though a lot of it would be with a 19, you feel like time here is potentially different could be for spots and for people be passing by at different rates, and should they interact, those rates could have an effect on one another and both rates be changed. So it's as if time is likely relative by person or by area or both.
I will
Great body
relay.
problem shit.
Yeah, I will relay the idea. Actually, that may not be obvious to you, but the time stream around here, it's not static anymore. It's warped quite a bit. Like, every individual has a different time stream, or like some slightly different reference frame, some experiential chronology magic. Like, there's a field of it around us, and it's very thick, like unusually thick and malleable in its own way. And my spells will behave very differently here.
Fantastic.
Like, I can manipulate some of it.
Interesting.
Simon's gonna lean over to Jal. I have no idea what any of that meant. You.
So, when he said watch the citizens and mark the time for leaving, or he said something to that effect, specifically, be on the lookout for people moving around, and if there are people, trying to find a pattern for when they're when the patrols leave, or when they're looking, that sort of thing.
Because as you come up here, we had passed out Trace, so everyone give me the group stealth check, please.
$34.
Total of 37.
28.
Uh, 38.
Is it this with advantage? I forgot. Sorry.
Advantage, you
10.
get the plus 10.
Okay, so I rolled a natural 1, so I think that gives me a total of 26.
And I rolled a natural 20 for a total of 37. Only 9 more.
Is that it? Am I missing one?
I had 34.
Royden?
Yeah, what did Warden have?
38, sorry.
Man, that 26 just
Dragging us down.
dragging it down.
Okay. So basically, the one thing I do is for natural ones are simply 1 when I calculate the average.
What about
Aw.
natural 20? Does that cancel it out?
Nope, it's just a 1. However, that still means that you have a 29.3.
Because math.
Yes. And you begin moving forward here. So you come up into this fountain and you lie flat, keeping the what was said to you in mind. It is completely dry currently. Black dust, and above where essentially there's a central feature that moves up in beautiful marble, and around and in the bowls are bones that have been placed there. And you can hear the busy bustling of shoes and boots against pavement, and sometimes thicker, loud slaps of flesh against stone, and skeletal beats as well. But currently, you do not see out of this because you are flat, and there's a good 4-foot area around you that obscures you from view.
Tonk, what are we looking for here?
We are waiting for a time when we can leave unnoticed. Floating corpse seemed to suggest there would be a pattern that we might be able to identify that would be the right time to get out from this fountain.
All right, how do you want to go about this?
What time of day does it appear to be? Or is there a time of day?
There really is no time of day here. It is just this constant dim purple light that seems to diffuse.
Is it obvious that the activity around us is speeding up or slowing down, or is it just kind of a constant hum?
You just want to try to listen to it. You can try to do perception for hearing.
Sure. Why not? That's a 12. Doop-de-doo.
Okay. On the 12, you're not able to find a pattern that's discernible for you.
Joel, why don't you put that hood up of yours and go have a look around? See how many we're dealing with.
I could give that a try. We probably shouldn't try teleporting there, right?
No teleporting. No, not in here.
Okay.
It won't go well. What's up with your hood anyway? That's weird looking.
Oh, it was a gift from someone I hold dearly.
Okay. Like your great aunt Tessie or something?
I thought we stole that from her.
Yeah, it was. Well, technically, she dropped it. And remind me,
his hood up.
which direction are we trying to go?
So my understanding is that we are close to the market square. And I would have made sure floating corpse pointed us in that direction, and then also pointed us to where the graveyard would be, because the 2 points of interest we're near are the market square and then the old graveyard with the trees.
Yeah. So, essentially, the fountain lies at the center of the market. So you are essentially right there. You are in the market pentagon, basically.
Okay, so we're basically in the market square at this point.
Yes.
So our goal is to go here and then also the cemetery.
Yeah. And then basically, if you would, every corner of this pentagon would lead, like there's a major thoroughfare road. And so he would instruct you to have taken the southwest pentagon point. That should lead you to where you need to go.
Just for paranoia's sake, pentagon, not pentagram, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This is the pentamarket is in the shape of a pentagon.
All right, so yeah, if you're gonna take a look, look up immediately around us if there's anything notable, but also we need to be going southwest eventually.
Was that a yes? In cat?
Yeah, just no warm fuzzies is all.
Do you seem warm and fuzzy? Okay.
I don't know that this place is just all of the I don't know that warm and fuzzies exist here.
I mean, with enough fireballs, we could make it happen.
And enough furballs. Furballs and fireballs.
Do you know what fur smells like when you... Never mind.
It's bad. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know.
Actually.
So then we're heading towards the graveyard, yes?
Well, eventually,
Let's poke around. Just go
the
poke around.
market square, which is where we like the fountain is in the center of the market square, and that is
Okay.
one of the 3 locations. I forgot how many sessions you missed, Jajal. Were you there for the telling of the story?
This
Negative.
was the town we popped into before we entered this region. It was the dwarf or gnome, I want to say, that didn't want me in his house and wanted to confide with you guys separately. And I sat on the stoop. That was explaining exactly how this whole thing happened and why we ended up in this position where the Jewelish Dominion became the Ghoulish Dominion at some point.
So there was a story, and I don't remember enough of the details, but there were sort of 3 key locations in the story where major things happened.
Correct.
One of those was the town square that we're in. One of those was the burial grounds, and the other was the arena.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a man named Elanthor who Zook said that died and was murdered and resurrected in the Pentamarket Center, or around the Pentamarket. He then, after that, he was executed within the arena and buried within the graveyard.
Okay.
All
So-
this was essentially the same day.
All on the same day.
And this was like the day of the Deadlands breaking.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So like this is right as the world went to shit.
Yeah, and in what he says is it all started in Zadash. There's around something that Azrael was doing. That Azrael was responsible for this person coming back and potentially what happened after.
So we need info about where we are now, because this is one of those 3 locations.
I don't know.
the fuck do you mean?
Hmm.
She's a square.
What would it be? I mean, we may not find any clues here, but in a graveyard, especially if there's a place he was buried, there should be clues there, right?
Jishal, what is your... You seem hesitant about this. Is there... What's the hang-up? I'm curious.
His brother's talking in the background, yelling.
You're fine.
If we want to inspect the body, the graveyard seems the most important place to start.
I mean, yes, but it's one of those, like, we're already here, and I'd rather not walk past a bunch of clues that we need and then have to come back here, you know?
Right.
Fair
We're not
enough.
consulting
But-
any. Good.
No, what were you saying?
Without consulting anybody, Talon's gonna go ahead and pop invisible
Okay.
and just slide out a little bit and look around, mostly out of curiosity, exploring what the weird temporal effects are around here, and just sort of like slide out and look around, trying to figure out if there's anything odd about this place.
Absolutely. Looking around here, one of actually the most interesting things that would first pique your interest is all the buildings here seem covered by what just will look like essentially grime that hangs down. Looks like some bits of bone and body parts have been hung in the grime like as decoration, as well as some like pretty stones, glass, and and this seems to go all around this Penta market. And there is one store that you see seems to not have any of this on there. It's as if it could not have grown upon it. And you sense strong magic like protecting it. Doesn't seem that it has been able to go. The name is still clearly displayed on the front, and it's the Invulnerable Vagrant.
Oh no.
Not Wizards of the Roast, you sure?
I am positive.
Got it. The Invulnerable Vagrant. That sounds impressive. What kind of magic is it protecting it? Some kind of abjuration or warding? Or something more holy?
It is definitely arcane in nature.
Okay.
And it's a few arcane spells.
Is there anything clearly inside? Is it like an empty shop from 100 years ago, or is it like recently dusted and obviously still in use?
You cannot see inside. But
Glass is too thick, doors too heavy, or just there's no way to get in?
Sure. So from here, so you are invisible. So you move
I'm
up.
invisible. I'm just drifting towards it.
Yeah. There are thick curtains that have been brought on the inside of the windows, and then the door itself is heavy and.
Mm-hmm.
While you're up and looking at all the pretty sights and sounds and buildings, etc.
I'm a tourist.
Are there patrols? Are there guards? Like, are you walking around people and just not?
We just got to the first thing. Easy there. We just got to the first thing.
But it's just like I can imagine Talon like just notably walking around the patrol to check out this building. Like,
I'm pretty sure the Shadowfell has its own undead issues, so he's kind of just used to walking about them.
Yeah. Well, he's used to working around them because they're everywhere.
Yeah. But looking, you see a few. There's mostly around you see what just strike you as families, some skeletal, some more zombie-ish, some pushing carriages with children, either ghoulish or skeletal, some variations of that, it seems. There are, it is as if it's a living city, but it's a mixture between these zombifications, and then some that, especially the younger ones, have this look of like, it is the pale skin, red eyes, these features, but as opposed to rot, there's this very disturbing healthiness to the rot, more like a growing fungus or cancerous orchids that would come up.
How strange. This place never ceases to amaze me. So besides that one store, any other curiosities in the square?
Now that you can tell, not right within the square. Just that building kind of got your things, and there are two very dark and misting knights in thick plate armor that are riding on shadowy horses that seem to be in patrol. And occasionally, as you might in a city, you see two people get into a fight, and one moves over there and they begin speaking, and you don't recognize the language.
So my languages are Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Sylvan. So nothing particularly spooky, but
Correct, you do not recognize it.
okay. Does it sound like any language I've heard or overheard?
I would say it uses similar sounds as Common, though a little more I guess longer and almost softer.
Okay. If that's all that's curious about the square, I will work my way very quietly back towards the fountain.
So Talon, I am curious how unnerving it would be for you to watch these undead act like people. Like, hey,
Insanely.
we got into an argument, and so one of us is going to go get the police officer.
Yeah. I mean, for someone who grew up in and around the Shadowlands, ghouls not acting like ghouls, skeletons acting like skeletons, like all the normal, flora and fauna of my world, acting massively crazy different is like
this is
unnerving.
This is like they're people with people personalities.
But they're not people, and they should know they're not people.
So what's Talon thinking right now?
Oh, confused as shit for starters, and also like all bets are off. The rules are out the window. None of this shit makes sense. What are you gonna do? So Talon will work his way back on Tonk's side, invisible,
Okay.
and whisper, "Hey, Tonk."
You do see the only other thing that you can see sort of interest is this would go out of due west out of the Pentagon. There is all these buildings, even though they're grimy, look like they've been improved upon recently or added to. There is a building that looks like it was burned long ago that doesn't look like it's been repaired, and you see people. So from this angle, you'd have to totally leave the center to further investigate. From this point, you can simply see that a few people seem to gather towards it.
Like observing, like worshiping, like avoiding, or like
Almost like they're listening. And it's hard now because you hear the constant chatter of a language you do not know.
All right, I absolutely have to go find out what the fuck that is. Can I work over there and not be near the crowd? Like, I know invisibility is not perfect, but like, I should be able to get a little bit closer and at least take a peeky peek. Right?
You can try. I'll just need a stealth check with
Yep.
advantage.
Stealth with advantage. Hold on to your 21.
Okay.
And does Pass Without Trace still play, or does it not? Because I'm probably outside the 30 feet.
Yeah, you'd be outside of this.
Okay, so just 21.
Check here.
Bets on the Death Knight's passive.
Sorry, it took a little longer than I was trying to. Okay. Okay. 20. Okay. So,
21 works or doesn't work?
you're good.
Okay.
You come here and sitting on what looks like this seat that has been made from what has been left here. You see a creature with almost green-gray skin. Large, standing about 10 feet tall. Bones and skulls attached to its body. Skin very, very tight around its head. Lips almost entirely pulled way far back, revealing sharp teeth. As it speaks, and people seem to listen. And while they don't answer in this to each other, he does speak common. As it seems he's teaching. Specifically, it seems like he's teaching necromantic magic. Doing like this public lecture currently on the spell Create Undead. And as you stare, you hear the caw of ravens almost invading your senses, and a deep chill through your bones. As this creature at its core, you get the deep sense that you only get around a lich.
Yeah. That's pretty awful. Obviously, she wants him dead, but well, I can't pick the fight myself. We may not survive it if we do. So I hear the call, I feel the call, but I can't take action yet.
So I would say you have enough to recognize this creature as a troll.
Really? A lich troll? A troll lich?
Lich? This would be a troll lich. Oh, it's actually a lich troll. It's a lich troll.
Okay.
I like Strollich.
It's got more of a
Hey,
rolls off the tongue better.
We can call it a troll lich. It's troll lich.
But I mean, aren't most liches trolls in some way anyway?
At least with your life. Okay. That's amazing. I will sneak my happy ass back towards the fountain.
They're life's biggest trolls.
All
I'm in
right.
a trolling life. So
Give me one last stealth check with advantage.
this is the one I usually fuck up. Dum, 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 and I'm good. 22.
2. You successfully get back.
Okay. Sorry for the false start. All right. So there's at least two. Hey, Doc. At least two things to worry about, right? So on the one hand, we've got this shop. It's obviously protected. It's got some kind of arcane warding around it. It's multiple spells. It's not small. Like they can't touch it. They can't modify it. They're either unable or afraid to get into that particular shop. So that shop looks fantastic. It's also got these huge heavy curtains, and maybe there's something really cool inside. I don't know. But whatever it is, they can't go there. They don't want to go there. And then the second part, and this is the really fucked up part, is there's a lich troll in the corner over there, and he's giving a lecture on one of the most vile spells you could possibly imagine. So, like, your basic create undead, like make more of them, and he's teaching them. He's telling them in common how to create more undead, and it's definitely a lich, and it's definitely evil, and it's definitely bad, and it's probably a lot to take on.
Do you think that's the birthing that Floating Corpse spoke of?
I mean, it wouldn't. So creating undead is reclamation. It's an act of turning death into undeath, right? Or not life. It's death into undeath. It's not birthing. Birthing implies something more natural or holistic or not human. That's the wrong word for you. The concept of live birth among undead, that doesn't happen. It's not possible. Hang on a second, because they've evolved. So obviously time changes. Wait, the thing with the hands and the teeth. I don't think it's related, but it's totally different kind of evil.
And this shop,
Looks amazing.
do you think there's a way for us to get in?
I mean, conceivably, I just wouldn't want to break any wards that allow these silly things in.
Is there perhaps a way to get a message inside to see if there's survivors like those we've found already?
I mean, it would be a very big and obvious beacon to use the front door. It'll be very much noticed if someone goes in or out. That lich troll lich thing certainly would be attuned to any magical disturbances. Maybe there's a back door. I don't know.
We can't just stay in this fountain, or we
Yeah,
won't
there's
find
that.
anything.
So there were, for lack of a better word, people wandering around the market, and some patrols.
Right. So as if they have commerce, like they're doing what you'd think of as like normal sentient creature activity, not undead at all. And then there's these two obviously death knights we saw before on the smoky horses that are patrolling, but the ones on the horses seem to be like keeping the peace almost. It's very strange.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm missing something, but the undead I'm most familiar with are vampires, and they're all sentient and go about their
Those are
ways.
exceptionally rare though. Like sentient undead are like exceptionally rare. Like the vast majority of undead are just gonna be like, shambling skeletons and zombies and ghouls and like fairly brainless. These are not that.
Tonk, did we just happen to run into the worst luck possible in the enemies that we formed?
Wait, you've only dealt with vampires? Oh, you got the cream of the crop. You definitely got the best.
At least Tonk has also dealt with the Lich.
Liches are like their own unique. Well, they're exceptionally rare, but they're very clever undead. But
And
the bottom
Draco
80% are just trash.
What about Jackaliches?
They're 1% more impressive liches, maybe 2.
Okay. So,
Like what kind of dragon wants to be undead when he grows up? Like that's crazy talk.
I mean, it was a her,
They fine.
and I don't
So
think...
to Fallon, the undead we've previously dealt with, a lich, a dracolich, a demi-lich, and vampires.
And you're here to talk about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Cool.
I mean, we befriended 3 of those, or at least kind of.
So here's the thing.
Am I on the wrong side?
Given that, so hold on, Talon. And when you say "are you on the wrong side," are you suggesting we need to have the "are we the baddies" conversation? Is that?
I'm not judgmental. I promise. I'm not at all. What's the word? Speciesist. No, undeadist. There's a word for this. No, but like, what?
So anyway, sidestepping that conversation, if these are acting like people, and they're acting like this is a market, as if whatever happened here hadn't happened here,
Right.
then the answer to when we leave this fountain is whenever it's night for them. They're wandering around as if it's the market.
Right, but you're missing the part where the time is different here. They could have different times. They could all think it's day or night at different times.
Possibly. But possibly not. There is possibly a time when these folks here would view it as time to go home, and there wouldn't be just people ambling around, and we would have more open access to these things. Like, if what we're dealing with aren't every undead here is part of a patrol,
Well, at least
then we have to act like these are people, and that they have people things to do, and part of the people things to do is go home.
okay. We can test that. It's just going to be time. And again, like, on what scale? Maybe their day is 100 years for you. We don't know yet.
I mean, I'm only working with what I got.
Same. It's all very perplexing.
I mean, but
I'm
by
gonna
all
write
means,
such a
like,
book about this.
If anybody has any better suggestions, by all means, let me know.
I mean, it's certainly better than just, popping Dawn in the corner and hoping no one notices.
I mean, by all means, I am not His Highness. Like, feel free and.
I mean, you seem to know what you're doing, and you know the Binks, so obviously, I guess this is you. We can wait.
We wait, I guess, Matt. We wait.
You want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll slink back into the fountain before the invisibility pops off.
Okay.
Tonk, would you like to cast the shroud of us after we wait, or?
I think we don't really need to cast another Pass Without Trace until we decide it's time to move again. Like, if we stay quiet and we stay down in the fountain until, and like, Jajal can pop his head up every now and again with his invisibility hood to see if there are still people around. And then when it's time for us to move, I'll happily cast the next Pass Without Trace. But they only last for an hour, and if we're going to be sitting here for half a day.
Me, I'm going to take my plasma out trace and doing the same thing you're basically saying, and just hide in plain sight.
Okay. Then you stay still, and at this point, a good, I guess maybe 6 hours go by, and finally, the sounds lessen, and Jajal is able to stick their head out and see that one shadowy on the shadow horse stays, but then begins to go on more of a patrol, going in and around the area, kind of going to a night patrol rather than an active sitting one. You no longer hear the gathered. You don't hear the Trollich lecturing. It's gone quiet.
Socrates is done for the day.
All right. Let's see if we can get in that indestructible vagrant.
Invulnerable.
Invulnerable vagrant?
Invulnerable,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, that's what it says on top.
I'll throw the pass with that trace on us.
So I guess the cat goes first. Is that how it normally works?
That is how it normally works. Yes.
Okay, I got.
Stealth roll.
Yeah. But they're pretty good. Stealth with advantage plus 10. Let your jaw do it.
It would be a 38 total.
All right. You carefully move to the invulnerable vagrant, find it. Yeah, y'all can see there's almost a static to the area around it. And I would say this close, Talon, you can see that already. You assume that any undead creature that would get this close would find themselves pushed or setting off some type of stronger reaction.
With some kind of undead ward.
Yeah, but there seems to be other magic going on here as well.
Can I touch it with a finger? Can I, if I can find where the perceived barrier is, can I actually push living flesh to or through the undead ward?
You do. It passes. Still that static. And touching the house, there's like a singe, and you reflexively come back as it seems to have burnt your finger for touching.
All right, so there's a defensive ward. Was it fire or force or electricity or something else?
That's about like fire.
Okay, it's a fire ward. That's helpful. Overlapping layers. Can I find a third layer, or is it the two for now?
These are the two. You feel like there's several things going on here.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to dispel it because it would leave the place undefended. So, are there any gaps or holes, any windows, any cat doors that don't appear to be warded quite the same way?
Not in the front here, and the way the buildings are, they all share walls with other buildings, so there's not a way to necessarily get around easily. Try to investigate further, but in the front here, it seems pretty locked up.
But I mean, a building has to have a top and a back, right?
Yeah. Just it's longer to go around than simply let me just quickly move. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We got to go all the way around the strip mall, not just
Right.
I'm just gonna go past the Panera and then.
Correct. Come from the back. There seems to be inscribed sigils within a fence that even seems to keep like what was maybe a very small, tiny outdoor space from things getting inside. From here, let me actually pull this up. You see from this angle, because the fence seems to have the wards that you saw in front, and so you can see a third ward that is around the building, because the other two extend around the fence and this one doesn't. It seems like a shimmering multicolored plane of light that at least here almost is completely opaque around. It's hard to see through it.
So it's undead, then fire, then shimmer.
Yes.
Is it clear what the shimmer is, or like what kind of effect it would have?
Make an Arcana check.
Sure. That would be a 27.
Yes. So this, you recognize the type of magic this is usually done by extremely powerful archmages. The last layer ward that you can see is a 7-layer ward made up of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet light.
Well, it's going to be tougher.
And what you know is called Prismatic Wall. It's essentially 7 wards in one.
They definitely don't want anybody in this side. Strange how they protect the back door more than the front door.
You assume this goes all the way around. You just couldn't perceive it because of the other wards. And now that it's more separated because the other 2 wards go around the fence, and this one only goes around the building, and you perceive it.
Master Tonk, I don't want to try to dispel these wards if they're keeping whatever's inside safe. It feels like a bad idea. Do we want to poke in? Do we want to try to work around? Is there some? I mean, whatever Archmage lays these down, they're quite good. Should we disturb them?
No, I don't. I don't want to break something like this without getting more information.
Is there some way we could like communicate? Like, if we were to not tap on the glass exactly, that's too mundane. But like, is there some way we could signal if somebody's inside to come out and talk?
Is there a particular reason why we can't just knock on the window?
I mean, I singed my finger the first time, but that's not deterrent. All right, DM question. Can I just flex Dynamancy and like kind of create a little time ripple, like so that any mage inside might feel it, or no?
I mean, you could try to do stuff so that someone familiar with Dunamancy might.
But other than that, no.
Right. It would be only to another mage that would familiar with Graviturgy or Chronoturgy.
Okay.
The prismatic wall, that's opaque, right?
Yeah. As he's telling you that, it's almost though when it was made, it was shaped to look like the wall, so that others would be hard to notice, except you're a lot of attention.
Okay.
Maybe we should just try knocking.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know that there's a way to knock on this without us getting hurt, given the wards of this place. But there seems to be a spot where, Talon, you'd said that undead wouldn't have been able to get as close as we did.
Yeah, it's the outermost of the rings. Yeah.
So inside the space that undead wouldn't be able to get to, but obviously not any further than the prismatic wall, because I can't see that. I'd like to toss a seed onto the ground and use Druidcraft to cause it to bloom. and I will just leave that there, and we can go on our way. And anyone in this place would know that something is happening, right? Because plants don't grow normally in this like that in this place, right?
Okay.
And so that they might be aware that there are other people who are trying to contact them without us making a scene here or trying to force down these wards.
The plant itself will stand out to the locals.
Yeah, that's the only thing. They can't get to it, but they can still see it.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have to know that this place exists already, right?
Maybe we go around the back and you can try to
Well,
get
this
there.
was on the backside.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually put it within the essential fence if you wanted.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the
perfect.
idea.
All right.
It was like it's within the warded area. Like they have to know the place exists, or if that anti-undead ward makes it so they don't notice, then I want it to be far enough in that it would apply to the same don't notice effect, right? So the owner of the place would be aware that something was different, but I don't think it would be any explicitly more noticeable than this place that is already warded against the undead. You know, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's also no guarantee that anybody's home, Talk, right? So, like, this ward could have been placed here by an archmage for multiple of your lifetimes. Like, it's not.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I figure let's politely do anything before
Right,
we just
right.
try and force down the wards.
Totally.
Well,
From my
politely
bag
could
of
also
holding-
mean just knocking on this back door here. Just a quick little pop pop.
Yeah, from my bag of colding, I'm gonna pull out my Moontouch rapier. And is there like a glass? Was there like a window back here that we can see?
So,
I mean, I've got
You'd have to go over the fence if you wanted to do that.
Oh, okay. So we can't. We currently
I've got
can't
the
get past-
telescoping blade lance thing.
You might
how
lose
far
it.
is the door?
What?
How far is the door from where we're standing?
Probably about 20 feet.
20. Jajal, do you still have any ball bearings?
Or just a rock.
I
A
have
rock.
Or is there a rock on the floor?
plenty of ball bearings.
I would like to just throw a couple of rocks, like in a pattern, like to try to like set out a beat.
Well, okay.
So
How
that
about
way it seems
Okay. Well,
intelligent,
yeah.
and not just somebody's randomly throwing rocks at a building.
well, I need my rocks, but I can give you like these 30 bearings.
Also, guys,
Oh, I don't mean those rocks.
so guys, this place has wards, right? I don't know that us throwing things at the house isn't going to trigger some sort of ward, right? As you're like, oh, let me just throw rocks at this place. Like, is it going to fireball us back? Talon got his finger singed without even touching the door, right?
But
like,
we're not touching it. We're throwing something at it.
I'll be over here.
I mean, like, I'm trying to do this in a gentle, subtle way.
I like the bush idea.
Like, and it's not even a full bush. It was just a little flower, right? Like, not even the full bush. But you know what, Talon? If they want to do that, I'm standing back over here with you. If they want to start
I'm-
chucking rocks at this house,
I'm more concerned about the posse showing up and 6 or 7 of those Death Knights being here to ask us exactly why we're throwing things at the house.
Do you really think they're going to actually ask us questions?
No, the stabby part comes first usually.
All right. Who are you trying to throw things at the house?
On the front side, Talon able to get to the actual door, or no?
He didn't really get to touch the door. It was messing with him as he got close to it.
Okay.
How far away though?
A few inches.
Okay.
But there
Like a
could
good
be
word should be.
Yeah, there could be a lot in those inches.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, like, if we had,
I
say,
mean-
something magical.
I mean, from what I've been told, like 4 or 5 inches is all it takes.
I was waiting for that joke. I was waiting.
Yeah, if we could reach a window potentially, whether it's using a stick or a magical item that hopefully survives passing through this ward, then
Okay.
us just growing a bush doesn't give them any information. It tells them somebody's there, but it doesn't say friend or foe. It doesn't say intelligent or not. It just could be a magical phenomenon that they haven't seen.
I would also like to mention what has happened the last several times we have put weapons directly into magical fields.
Okay, but that was a specific weapon in specifically evil things. This is just generically arcane, and this is a moon-touched rapier. There's not a whole lot of magic in this.
Master Keldrum, to be clear, if you can lay down a prismatic wall, you have a level of capability, esteem, prestige. It's a fucking archmage. Let me just be plain, right? Like, they can find out who we are. We're not that difficult to track if they can do that wall. That wall in particular is harder than I can do, which isn't saying much. The bush will probably be enough of a calling card, is my guess.
Also, given the nature of all of the other things out here, growing a plant like that is indicative enough that we are not with them. Let us do this and be patient. If we come back tomorrow and there's no response, then we can start throwing rocks.
Very well. That's a big if we come back.
It's a big if that anyone's actually here.
Say the group of you, because of this high passive perceptions, the person riding around on the horse is coming this direction.
Yep.
Let us get then.
Pass that trace is still up, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I probably don't need to pop invisibility, but that's dicey.
Good enough if you move here. It's just, if you stayed right in the open here, there'd be potential.
All right, so let's find some cover first and foremost.
All right. Then as you do that, we're going to go ahead and go on our break.
All right.
You realize we spent like 10 minutes debating an ADT problem, right? Touch the fence, don't touch the fence. Touch the fence, don't touch the fence.
Hey, it's better than, like if we were to spend 20 minutes trying to get through a door and then we just need to open it.
Yep, that's fair. Yep, it's been done. Oh, by the way, Paul, your backup joke for next time, the inches joke, my ex-wife used to say, it's like the weather, it's like the snow. Every time someone promises me 8 inches, I'm disappointed.
Alrighty. Let me get Ryan back here in a sec. All right. I loved that comment from your wife there, Paul.
To be fair, I may have been biased in my retelling of the story to get that explicit response, but
Correct.
I mean, we could have actually exited if I'd kept the dragon egg. And worst case scenario, I think we end up with a fried dragon egg. So
So
win-win.
you thinking extra crispy or like over medium?
I feel like it would be more sunny side up because it would just be the one side.
I mean, it's not Texas pavement. You got to turn it eventually.
I mean, it'd be like on a vertical surface. So,
Since
over easy.
we're
Over
already on
easy.
the. Go ahead.
I think over easy would probably because it would just roll over, and then you'd get the full white cooked, but not the full yellow because it would be very quick.
So just out of curiosity, has anyone done the math on exactly what the volume of a dragon egg would be and how much omelet that is and who that would serve? I'm thinking like 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons minimum.
So, a nice snack for Simon then.
Depends.
It's
Depends
not
how
cake.
big your dragon egg is, I guess. It's
The
like
dragon eggs that we had.
we're huge, yeah, the gallon. Yeah, because like Games of Thrones, they were like ostrich egg size.
Yeah. That's at least 1 gallon. It's at least the size of like a milk
Oh,
jug.
and they also like when they hatch, they're also the size of like a small cat. So, I guess it depends. How big are newly hatched dragons?
Technically 5 feet.
So
Ooh.
these are big. These are at least like beach ball size.
Yeah, so it would be like an egg for a baby elephant. Would be the
So that's probably closer to like 5 gallons.
It's now a bad time to tell you that elephants don't lay eggs.
what? I'm aware of this.
He said it was like if as
Like,
if.
it was as if you'd have a baby in an egg.
It's too easy.
So I mean, at that point, we're looking almost near 50 gallon, right? Like a 50 gallon
Probably.
egg.
Yeah, like 50 gallon drum, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's like a full meal of egg for Simon then.
Maybe 2. Maybe 2.
No, I think you're underestimating how big
I
his
mean-
stomach is.
I'm
It's
sorry.
as big as he is.
Changeling physics is something else, apparently.
Like having been in the army, like that's several of those reheatable dishes of what they try and pass as eggs.
Did they ever put you in a 55-gallon drum, or is that just my nightmare?
There were several times where it felt like it.
That may be a Navy joke. Hang on, where's the jaw?
Amazing. So you're making your way away from the house. Where would you like to go?
So, I'm still interested in sort of doing another double check of this market square. And again, I'm out of character, not well remembering the story of how this happened here, where the person was murdered and then resurrected in the square.
Somehow.
But is there anything I can see here that would tie into the way that story was told? Are there any I'm looking some sort of connection between here and that story.
You were told that there was a fire.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's go to that burned building then.
Is that a clue from the sky?
Just remember the conversation with the Zook. All right.
I apologize. I was a little out of it that day.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And to be clear, we're still keeping an eye out for and avoiding our patrolman /
Correct.
zombie
Yeah.
cop.
So give me another stealth check. You've got Pass Without Trace up.
Yes. 31.
36.
33.
Jeez, very good.
22. I rolled bad.
All right. Now we just need. I think with enough of this, you definitely are making it past this. Don't need to keep going out.
When 22 is the low end.
Yeah. Well, Pass Without Trace, it's a good spell. You approach here very carefully. Talon, as you get closer here, now that you are able to really be in the moment, from within the building, even in this burnt ash, there is an immense sickening that hits your stomach. This necromantic energy is intense here. It is stronger than anything you felt before, even within the Shadowfell.
Like something fundamentally terrible happened here, like some great evil.
That there was a powerful magic worked here a while ago.
A while in terms of years or hundreds of years, or
I'm making an Arcana check.
Sure.
Get this much information.
Have to assume there's some resonance there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 22.
Okay. So I think with this, you enter into this area fully. And again, I would say this would be difficult if it weren't for your specialty, as you're able to figure out how relative time is, and as far as the multi-planar clock goes, you would think anywhere from 1 to 2 years.
So a great magic happened here. Definitely necromantic in nature. Something very dark in the last year or two. I can see why they congregate here. It's not holy, not religious exactly, but like some great power exudes from this place. It's stuck here.
Something more than just a simple raised dead or resurrection?
Much more. Something much more concentrated, intense.
Now, around this space, these burnt pillars that once held up a building here, some of them had been somewhat smoothed, as if they wanted to preserve some of the burn and preserve this place as much as possible. But you see there are several books that have been laid out here.
Without touching them, what kind of books? What do they look like? What do they feel like?
You got the same check. These all seem to be individual spell books.
Same hand, same author, same owner.
Well, not you can't tell that without opening.
Okay.
Without touching, I say there is that spell. There's the energy that it comes from inscribing spells.
Okay, so I can open these and try to figure out.
Do the books look old? Like, are the books here from around the time that this happened, or does it look more like these books have been placed here recently, as if someone were studying here or working here?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Uh, 26.
These all seem to have been fairly recent. You don't think that these were long gone by or here whenever this happened. These are likely, and even then, the sense you get from looking very closely is they are resting on these pillars, but the pillars are wide enough to where one could work, and you see tucked away, even within the ash, are metal boxes that seem to have scrolls and inks, pages, as though some of this is active, giving the sense of almost like an active, work area for people to either copy magic or even invent magic, but very much specializing on necromancy.
Anything other than necro, or is it 100% necromancy?
Here is all necromancy. And actually, between those two checks together, you, in the corner, it's hard because everything is black here, but you recognize the corner. There is a 13-ring ritual circle, and in the center is a blackened heart surrounded with you'd recognize of a powder that seemed to be made up of diamond and onyx dust.
Is that common to a particular spell?
It is not. With the same checks, you have not heard of a spell. It's entirely unfamiliar to you in the magic sense.
Having some knowledge of the practice of worship of Vecna, does that feel like his style?
Make a religion check.
This will be good. That one class I slept through. 25.
5.
You know what? I'm gonna flash of genius that.
To 30. Okay.
I want there to be no doubt about the answer we're getting here.
Okay. So I'm taking something arcane as well. There is a cold sweat that breaks on your skin. Because this isn't Vecna magic. This is as if someone built upon what he had started. Heavily. And taken it to levels that he did not achieve. Because Vecna was an accomplished wizard at times and other things, but ultimately forsook arcane study as he attained deification. These workings in here seem to not have that as its goal at all, but simply taking necromancy further and further and further.
Master Tunk, you know what this means, right? There are new limits is the wrong word. There are new levels to which necromantic power has been pushed. antithesis of I mean, my field of study, but also like the majority of what clerics can do or mages can do. This is something entirely different. This surpasses what Vecna produced, which means it's a threat to your entire world. The Deadlands may just be the beginning. This is incredible levels of power. I would say burn the place down, but it probably won't work. Like, do your people know this place is this bad?
No.
Do they know this power exists on their plane or continent?
No.
If this power is tied to your friend Banks, this is not a positive sign.
Well, this is the power she is working against.
Her instincts are good.
What I will say is that it is likely, well, the way Bingles talked about what Azrael was doing in here, the person who might be responsible for this magic is the same person who runs the wall that keeps everyone out.
Is that Azrael or the person that was reborn?
I think Azrael, but the wall that keeps the undead in also keeps everyone else's eyes out.
Which is great for building power, but at some point, wouldn't you want to knock... If you were the great evil, wouldn't you want to knock down the wall and take over the rest?
Yes, but he is the one that set the wall up. When he is ready, all he has to do is turn the off switch off, and it's been his plan all along. He is... For those outside of this circle, he is the hero that bound the dead into this barrier.
But inside, he's growing his crop.
This is how it appears, anyway. The person doing the binding is the one hiding what they're... So,
To be clear, I was sent here on a mission for a reason. I'll die to end this if possible, but is it possible?
No, I don't think it is. As you turn and see the person who was outside the walls, their glowing, smoldering red eyes within his orbs, white skin, deep black hair.
This is the first Death Knight we saw, or what?
This was that particular Death Knight steroid type of thing I described. This is him.
Master Knight, awfully good to talk to you, I suppose. Why is this not preventable?
It's gone on too long. I hated what was done to me. Why I ran, only to be killed, captured by the Zadashian forces, and executed.
Whoa.
You're not the first who thinks, let's get in there and see what lies inside. Maybe at the beginning. But too much has happened. And now I'm stuck here. All because he didn't want me to die.
Azrael?
Yes. Yes. Back when he was a sniveling, cowardly child. Couldn't deal with death.
Wait, all this is because he couldn't accept death?
Indeed.
The most natural thing in the world that happens all day, every day to everybody eventually.
He came from the jungle. That's where we found him. We were helping a village, and something was wrong with him. But he was a kid. Talked of how he lost his brother. And how he hated the Empire. Of course, we all did. Some form. We were here to see their spy on them, or really to rescue a spy. And we found a woman, a villain. So we tracked her here. And it was here that something from my past caught up with me. I couldn't remember at the time. I still can't. But it led me here, where they had set a trap for me. Flames came around my body, turned me into a blackened skeleton. Or so they say. I don't remember that bit. Next thing I knew, I was finally with my patron. Finally with the voices calling me. And then that sickly green hand. And that eye found me. Pulled me. As I came back to this place, I saw the price. 7 guards. Their lives and souls, really, ripped from their bodies. The souls rewound, transferred to a net that bound me back here. This was the first place.
Whose hand and eye? Whose net?
Oh. Azrael's? Something was wrong with his hand when we found him.
Something wrong with his hand. Was it cold, dead, sickly, bony?
There was this growth upon it. It got worse and worse the more he did something like that once. There was children who had been killed by a pack of gnolls. He found the gnolls. And the children rose again. We thought at the time they had just been injured, but let's say I thought differently after I was brought back. The first time, anyway.
So there have been multiple times. You've died multiple times.
Twice.
Twice.
What were you doing in that jungle? I'm assuming the Karaska jungle.
Yes. We were at the outskirts. There, what we believe is this woman was attempting she found a way to magically enhance the body parts of different creatures. She could make the eyes of Tabaxi into stones that could see anything. So she was harvesting them from the children through dolls. We came, we tried to solve the problem. In that, we met Azrael, who had been rescued by these people. They found him in the jungle. He had said he had gone there with his class. It was on a field trip, I guess. Where precisely the school was, he never told us.
Oh, field trip. It's like a work study. Was he supposed to be in school?
He
Was he that
was.
young?
Yes. They said they were looking for lost ruins within there, lost magic, and that he was the only survivor.
So you were from Rasgard then?
Yes.
What
I
business
came,
did you
I
have
came
to-
up with the name.
And Zadash, that you traveled back here.
I
This
did
villainess. Who was she?
not. Her name is Lucre. Azrael told me recently that they had found and killed her as much as something like her can be killed. No thanks to Azrael, I might add. Asshole.
Do you know?
He shacked up with her for a while.
What is that house? My
They had
translation's-
children.
Oh. Sorry.
Do you know of his plan with the beacons?
No. I know that they are the source of chronomancy and graviturgy on the plains. And that he wanted them desperately. But he did not share it with me after it became quite apparent to him I didn't care. I am only here anymore because this is a civilization. And I think the people here are people.
I
Speaking
have.
of that, what is your name?
Ilanthor.
Azrael is attempting to use the beacons to extend his own life.
Makes sense. Though if it has nothing to do with his brother, I would be surprised.
Do you know where these beacons are?
No. But he has a fortress of sorts in the mountains between here and Jolhas, in the midst of the Deadlands. But it is not unusual for him to come here, him and his brother,
Who's his brother?
Andro.
Andro. And okay.
I thought you said his brother had died,
Yes.
so he resurrected him in the same fashion that you were.
The same, I do not think so. Last I saw them together, he was a grown man, and he died when he was 7.
But you can't artificially. I'm so confused.
Okay, you know that. You know so much, do you?
I don't. The rules are different here.
Who is the emperor?
My understanding, the last emperor who ruled here, or yeah, I guess the one I believe gave the city over to the Tordalian Empire, but some emperor before then. I don't care much about the politics of this place.
But it's someone from the Julish Empire, right? The old, I guess, inherited this place.
Yes, amazing. You release necromantic magic upon
And
the
that
old
come
bones.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Speaking of necromantic magic, and I apologize for diverting the conversation, but like, what actual fucking thing happened here? Also, the store across the street, super fascinating. Talk about that later, but like, what happened here?
This is where I died and was brought back.
So it's you. You're the reason we're here. You were the one that was killed and resurrected and
Yes.
Executed.
It's why you
executed. That's the words, yeah.
why you could not hide from me once you came into this place.
Well, Lanthor, it's good to meet you, I guess, because it puts a whole lot of pieces of the puzzle back together.
Yes.
What? Well, you're still here, which is fascinating. What? I gotta say, what can we do? We can do lots of things. What should we? How should we understand this world, this problem, the time-space warpitude, and the whole upside down undead having babies thing?
The time has to do with Azrael. That's his business.
Okay.
All I know is a woman. That's right. We met her briefly
We?
before. Yes, when we were in the Quadranas back in the war. Bingles. He reached out to her, and they worked together. And that's right around the time things got even crazier around here.
Was this when the shield came up? When the
Before
Barrier?
the shield, yes.
So Bengals worked with Azrael before the barrier, and they did something together, and then here we are.
I don't know if he could have come up with the shield without her.
Okay,
And I
that's-
helped him. I had no desire to see his idiocy spread across all of Exandria.
So when you joined us, we were hypothesizing that Azrael could just drop the shield anytime and expand. Is that possible, or are we wrong?
Don't see why not. He's the one who made. Well,
Made or maintained?
make a persuasion check.
Sure. Dice gods, call it.
You could use an inspiration.
It's an 18. I'll keep it.
I'll flash. This seems important.
I'll fuck with your time stream. You fuck with my rolls.
This is 23 then?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Yes and no. If they all agreed, probably.
They all. So it's Azrael and it's Bingles, Bink, and somebody else.
No, just Azrael and his brother, but
So Azrael and his brother have to agree to take down the barrier to expand the territory.
Azrael, all the Azraels, and the brothers.
Well, this is getting really complicated. What do you mean by plural
He-
singular?
I lied. I do know what he did. Or at least somewhat. He figured a way. The beacons. When one dies, a soul and your soul enters them instead of going where it would go otherwise.
It's the abomination, yes.
It then is transferred to the nearest born child being born. However, when he was first doing it, no children were being born anywhere near his beacons. That has changed.
Wait,
But
the cool babies?
He figured a way where you could take one beacon and copy the souls from the other. Thus,
Duplicating them.
Do you split the soul, or how does that?
I don't know. All
Or
I
transfer
know
it from
is
one
he
to
could
the other.
not transferred. No, copy.
Souls are complete by themselves. They can't be created or destroyed. They're, at least in Elven mythology, they're forever. They're
Okay.
singular.
Okay.
I'm not lecturing. I just am very confused.
Anyway, he, in the early days, he used this to birth several of himself and his brother from Lecrae. Their consent and all that. And then with them, I think he made a few adult versions. But this was all within the first few months. My distaste and enmity towards him became apparent, and he cut me out after around 7 months.
Does he know you still walk this plane? Does he know you're here? Or
Oh, yes.
so he hasn't ended you. There are multiple of him. There's a whole city here that could be hunting you. I don't mean to sound rude, but why does he let you walk?
I serve the city. The city does not serve him.
Ah.
They wouldn't go against him, but he does not rule here. And I have protected this place. I have killed enemies, those who would seek to kill the people here.
So the people here, again, I'm confused. How do I say this? You're not necessarily trying to kill all outsiders like us, right? What are your interests? Like, if you're not working for Azrael directly, then do you just protect yourselves, or just try to preserve yourselves, or how does? What?
I am not gonna. There was already an assault led a month ago against Huppaduke. They broke down the barrier somehow. Yes, this place may invade outside the barrier, but I have pledged myself to it. It does not serve Azrael. These people live, they breathe, and they may die. Well, they sort of breathe.
They sort of breed too.
Oh, that they do. That's why I think he got cranky, in my opinion. Souls messing his work up.
Cranky.
It's not around as much. Place not as special now that people have something to them. But don't get me wrong, the ones that woke up, they are conquerors.
I mean the one.
Your audio broke up, Jonathan.
What do you mean the ones that broke up or that woke up?
The emperors, the soldiers, the people. What came out of the Jewlish Dominion, now Ghoulish, were ones that sought to rule Alexandria. And I think they still do. Well, I know they still do. But I lead the guard, and I protect Zadash. I trained the Ebon Knights.
So the newly birthed have no want to rule. They just want to be left alone.
I don't know what they want. They're children.
And
I have
yet
to
the
wanna-
time passes differently here, more quickly. How long do they stay children?
It depends. I don't really pay that much attention, honestly. My goal is that whatever life they choose is protected within these walls.
So you're limiting your influence to this place.
Personally, they may do what they want.
As we have watched the people of this place, we bear these people, the ones with souls that are just living their life. We bear them no ill will. We seek to work against Azrael and his plans for the rest of Exandria. Is there a way for us? Can we work against Azrael without disrupting the people of this city? Or are those two ideas fundamentally intertwined?
I don't know.
Given
Can I check him on that?
Sure.
Natural 20 for 30.
Yeah. Few things. I would say his intentions here, he is continually sizing all of you up. He's deciding whether or not you're a threat. If you are a threat, how likely it is he can eliminate you. Or if you're too much of a threat, they would let go. Basically, your threat level to others plus your threat level to him, and in general, he's just going through all types of calculations with whatever he's given. But that he's also been given information more than he would normally. As far as whether he really, I would say, yeah, he doesn't know what going after Azrael would do.
So with his answer there, I'm just gonna straight, like, eye to eye look at him and ask. Given then that you work to protect this city, and you are the ones that trained the Ebon Riders and the guards here, and you work for the people of this city, will you allow us to exist in this space and to work against Azrael?
You have not been found.
And we're
You
still
have-
not found.
You have not been declared an enemy. To my knowledge, you have not killed the citizen here. Though, you certainly irritated Jeremel.
Who is that exactly?
Jeremel is he works in the university. He made a deal with a woman a while ago. Got these collars to help control those that don't have intelligence. And he has been using this to control many of the creatures and was using one to interrogate some of the deep dwellers.
Oh, yeah, that.
and saw your description kill. Though, as I said, they are not conscious. I do not consider them citizens. So, as far as I'm concerned, you have not hurt the people here. But should the Emperor name you a threat, should you commit a crime, you're my enemy.
Who was the
But
woman?
keep in
Deal with.
mind, I should say, commit a crime, and besides being breathing and alive like you are, technically that's illegal.
But
I don't
wait.
care.
So living is a. I love this. This is fantastic.
Well, more like your traitors, invaders,
Sure.
that type
Yeah,
of.
yeah, got it.
But
Pretty strict codex you got there. All right, just my curiosity can't hold anymore. This place makes sense. This place is a holy site and the place of your transformation, consecration, whatever this is. What's with the shop across the street?
oh, Pumats.
Pumats.
Pumatso. I did not see him after the incident.
What's
I
a Pumat?
assume the guy who owned the shop.
Okay.
All I know is it was locked up tight and no one ever went in.
So some magician, for lack of a more polite term,
Yeah, as a
locked up shop and just disappeared, and all of his wards are still there somehow.
Well, rumor is that he was the arch nemesis of Bingles. The two competed all the time. So, if he found out she was working on the barrier, he might be like, "Oh, your barrier is so nice. Maybe I'll make something within your barrier that no one can." Things happen.
No, that's fair. That tracks. That tracks.
But this Pumat hasn't been seen since the Deadlands happened 2
I
years
haven't
ago.
seen him, and he doesn't walk around either living or dead that I'm aware of.
Wow. That's some serious home security. What a shop.
Oh. And
I-
good too. For a while, Ezria was very mad because, of course, it wasn't just Pumat; it was the Pumats. He had copied himself, though not in the same way as more rudimentary, I believe, than what Ezria did.
I'm gonna point over to that 13 ring ritual thing with the diamond and the onyx.
Oh yes.
Is that leftover from what was done with you years ago, or is that still actively in use?
Oh no, that is active. That can only be made here. Then they transport it once it's stable.
And what is made here?
In the initial incident, not everyone was raised, not everyone was created into these things. That raises many undead all at once. I think 100 or so.
So a greater resurrection ritual of some kind, but into
On the resurrection, they're mostly unthinking.
so they're like skeletons or like ghouls or some lower form of undead.
Yes, just within a mile.
Within a mile.
Hmm.
That's a hell of a circle.
It is a label force, you could say.
But you should be out of corpses by now. You've done this hundreds of times, I assume. Like there should be nothing left in the dirt but like plants at this point. No
The
offense.
city is old.
Tens of thousands of years old?
Before this place, people crash landed. Entire cities exploded from the sky and fell here.
What's wrong with your world?
I don't know how it all works.
Do you keep prisoners here in this city?
Yes.
And you've used her name, so I'm assuming you know her.
Yes, bingos. I
She
had
being
an
here.
informant of mine told me that she had been captured, but they were keeping her from me. Don't trust me near her.
Would you free her if you were able to get close to her?
But didn't endanger myself or the city.
Is she being kept here?
Is that why you are here?
One of the reasons, maybe.
Well, then it's decided. I will not alert the Ebon Knights to your presence. She broke me out of jail once.
Why?
She thought that we could save the world.
Do you still want to try?
I was back when I breathed.
From Azrael.
No, Azra was part of the jailbreak. This was early. Before all of it. Back when we were just going about heroes for going against Lecrae, the woman. Anyway, the point being, I think I can help you.
I suppose she broke you out of jail to save the world. We need to break her out of jail because, well, we have a date with her to save the world again.
Funny how that works. One wonders if saving this place is meaningless at all. Anyway, I will... The Tri-Spires is where you're trying to get to. So, I will tell you how to get past the wards. Yes. And then you do not kill the guards or citizens.
Deal.
The ashes. Coat yourself in them.
These ashes?
Then you still have to be sneaky, but I don't think you'll have a problem with that. Then you will not alert them that you are living as you make your way through. As long as you stay coated in the ashes within the Tri-Spires. Take them off, and they will know your precise location immediately.
So the ashes somehow keep us from being known.
As
They
living
prevent-
creatures, yes.
Okay. I have to assume, just shits and giggles entertainment, these are the ashes of the dead, right?
They were being formed when Azrael first pierced the veil, they carry that energy and make anything recognize you as undead. Especially magic.
Okay.
We were told a story of you before we got here. We were told of 3 locations, this being one of them, and obviously it has power and import. Is there power and import at the arena?
Indeed.
And in the burial grounds?
Yes, what I've pieced together is this. This is where the veil was pierced. The arena is where that energy was spilt by hatred. And the graveyard is where they hid their shame. And that is where my blood mixed with the soil, and at night those hands came from me once more. Azrael's voice calling me. But this time he called everyone in the graveyard with me. By accident, I assume he never knew what he was doing back then. Who told you?
Someone from the outside that was there when it happened and at least saw the travesty as it was evolving. Someone that is still outside the barrier, but laments are part of it.
See here, Talvin is not Talvin. Keen is imprisoned. Asgar went to my patrons long ago. Skaha Uzuk.
One of those might be right. If it helps at all, you have compatriots with long memories.
Oh, they can remember 2 years ago. Good for them.
It's been a lot of damage since then, by the looks of it.
Well, Sky left early. Zook abandoned Azrael, sent him into his depression, and into the arms of Lecrae. Anyway. Well, rub yourself in the ashes. I've already made the Ebon Knights stay away from here.
We can't thank you enough for that particular gesture. That's incredible.
No one has evaded this long, and once you entered into this place, of course I felt you. I was curious. And if indeed you're here, understand, you're to get Bingles and get out. This is my home. But I owe her.
One more small question, very small, lowly, like to the ground, like in the sewers. What is the advantage of hunting those who live below?
Thing to do.
Got it.
I mostly deal with the people versus people up here, but the law is the law.
So all living, breathing things that emerge are suspect and hunted.
Yes, though I abstain. That particular job.
Understood. Okay.
What are the underdwellers in relation to those above? What makes them different from you?
They didn't die.
They seem to have some of the same mutations.
Indeed. There were many who fled. And they escaped before the contagion spread quickly, but not instantly, throughout the area. Those who kept on going until they could no longer see any contagion eventually made it out. But there were some, with the mindless dead especially, were trapped within Trispires. And I believe with the ones who are below, they had a spell of some kind that was cast upon them, or they did it themselves, I don't know. But we didn't become aware of them until a year ago. And one interrogation, they spoke of waking up then, as if no time had passed.
Would it surprise you if their mutations look like your mutations? Like their newborns look like your newborns in some way? Like the world is shaping you together in some...
Would make some type of sense. As looking back, he goes, I remember that Lashnia was so pissed off.
Who? What's Lashnia?
Lashnia, yeah, was helping Azrael in the earlier days. She was upset when they emerged. They killed a few people. She chased them. I believe she killed quite a few.
What did this Lashnia look like?
Big skeletal dragon.
Yeah, that's the Dracolich.
And
That
she was
from way back when.
she was here during the first happening of the Deadlands.
Yes, her and Azrael came very close. She became a tutor to him.
Oh, what a small world we live in. We know her as well.
Who?
How did she get trapped by the Ruidians then? My understanding was that all of their ships were of like make, and I thought she was brought with them from Ruidus.
So
Out of character, I think-
he has no idea what you're talking about with the Iridians, but you guys had when you found her, the Deadland incident had not happened yet.
Oh,
Yeah. So during the year she pledged herself out of character to the ship, she went and played somewhere else.
Because she would only show up when we needed her, when we called her. So this is stuff she was doing on the side.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the Deadlands hadn't happened yet for us.
Nope.
Yep.
See, I
this
thought
campaign
they-
started a week after the campaign that did this. So for a large part,
I thought it
happening.
happened like pretty close together, but it wasn't.
It was
Yeah.
very close to that, but yeah, it was. Yeah.
Right? Cool. So we let the dragon out that was partly responsible for all of this happening. That's great. That's fantastic.
Oh, all right.
All right. Well,
I guess we should have called on her more frequently.
So I guess for next steps, it's we coat ourselves in ash and then try spires and see if we can figure out how to get Bengals out.
that does seem to be the plan.
Is there any place in the city where teleportation magic isn't hindered?
What I know is not even Azrael teleports inside here or out.
That confirms my suspicions. Ooh, shit! Since you're here, the trees that you can make a green potion from that allows mortals to sleep. How does that work?
Is that how they've been surviving?
I want to insight check him again.
Oh no, it's very clear. He's like, oh, like he just learned something very important about killing these people he wants to kill.
Talon fucks up again.
Well then.
And you can make any decision you want off of that. If you want to face him now because of it, it's up to you. But
Well, he had said that he had abstained from.
Because he doesn't care, but they do.
right, but that doesn't mean he's not going to form his guard. There was information. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do with that.
But I've already fucked up, so I can just keep divulging if you want.
But yeah, I would definitely think there's a moment where this idea, like, I would say, that also they kill citizens when they come up. So that's a little different to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a little bit more self-defense-y and less hunting for sport.
Yeah, so he's not so much as extermination, but more they do kill citizens. So he's like, oh, these murderers, this is what they go for.
I guess out of character, it's a coexistence problem. They can't really live in the same place at the same time right now.
All I say is you plan to fight him. It's going to be initiative, not surprise round, because he's too aware of what's going on.
No, he's been eyeing us for far too long for it to be surprised.
Yep. Well, you realize they had to have some way to survive the disease of this place, right?
Yes. Well,
And
if they feel like they need to murder to survive, that's up to them, and they will face the consequences of my law.
Understood. What I'm arguing, and again, I'm not from here. I don't have a dog in this fight at all. Whatever a dog is, no idea. But I feel like there's got to be some room for everybody to just. Can't we all just get along? No. Is there a possibility that anybody could survive without stepping on somebody else? If they don't harm, if they below don't harm those above, and vice versa, or at least not on purpose, could there be a coexisting law? Is there a possibility, as a lawbringer yourself, that there's a world in the future where everyone's allowed to just subsist?
If they don't kill my people.
Okay.
But from what you're telling me, they seem to be maiming them.
From what we saw, from what we understood, they are trying to survive and nothing more. They are absolutely at the bare bottom of subsistence. If you feel like you have to kill them to survive, if they feel like they have to kill you to survive, then animosity goes on for generations. I'm just saying, like, is there a possibility of a middle ground?
You would have to talk to the Emperor. What I know is they kill my people. They are my enemy.
Okay.
Down there, they're killed the ones that simply walk but do not think. That's fine. I don't care.
Nobody cares.
But up here, they kill my citizens.
Okay.
And
So if they saw your citizens as sentient, and likewise you don't see them as vermin anymore, then maybe there's room.
Yes. Well, for me.
For you, when again you are a very enlightened position amongst your society, compatriots. Yeah. But it's possible.
They go after thing. Kind of it is, but you should know. I'm pretty sure you're telling me that they are hurting citizens in that graveyard to get what they want.
I don't know that that's true. I have no. Again, I'm an off-worlder. I have no current knowledge that that is an accurate statement. But I'm saying, is there a possibility? Is it conceivable that there's a middle ground?
I did not kill you. I do not kill service dwellers for coming up. Only those who have previously murdered.
Right. So,
or who murder.
So
or
to be held accountable for our crimes is normal amongst, I guess,
Yes.
both societies. I hope.
However, the Ebon Knights will kill them on sight. They
Because
are. The Emperor wishes it so.
the law says that air breathers can't survive. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I understand that position.
Right. Well,
The Trispires is a big place. Where is Bingles exactly, if you know?
The last I heard, she was in the dungeons underneath the palace. The palace is lit with 7 black flames. Beyond that, I don't know. As I said, it was simply a spy told me of her, and security was too tight for me to get her out myself. Inside the Tri-Spires, I don't have the pull, you could say, as outside.
That's tremendously helpful. Thank you. Do you mind if I write any of this down? Because I would love to. Okay.
No, not.
Some mage someday will find it.
But, so you looking? They have certainly been good students of magic here.
So the troll lich necromancer teaching, that's normal here, right?
Yeah. He comes every day to spread his knowledge. Is good man. Well, we may go. Besides, patrols won't get suspicious after a while.
All right.
Would this be a safe place to rest should we find the need?
No.
I'm already ashing up.
Yeah, Simon's gonna look for a big pile and just face plant into it.
Excellent. Everyone make a wisdom saving throw for putting the ashes on.
Oh, fuck.
Here we go.
You know what? Because I'm gonna go ahead and use one of our
I'm gonna use my
5
inspiration.
inspiration that we have
Yeah.
for this, because I'm terrible at them, and we have them.
25.
Ooh, good.
And I will grab another inspiration.
I got a 24.
Nice.
19.
Fail.
24.
Yes.
Okay, so I had a 10% chance of succeeding that. That's great.
Not with that attitude.
Man,
I rolled
I'm
a
just
19. Or I rolled an 18 and I have +1.
I am burning through my flashes,
Which
But,
we appreciate.
but that'll get me to 21.
Okay.
Fail. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
If that fails, then it is impossible for me to succeed.
All right. Simon,
Yes, sir.
you feel a little feverish for a moment, and then it passes. And you see the grime on the walls, but you don't see it just as random. There's street names, directions, store names, and you realize you can read, and you're going to be able to speak Ghoulish.
Did I?
Nice.
Okay.
Does he look different at all?
He's in a lot of black ash.
Oh, well, shoot, so am I.
Yeah.
So yes.
But you do have corruption 1.
Oh.
No. It's okay. Well, it's
I mean, you don't put ashes of pure necromancy on you. Nothing happens.
Corruption.
I mean, I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but
Here we are.
I now know a second language, guys. So
You do currently.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you only had common?
yes,
How does that even happen?
Because he's learning stuff as he goes.
yes. Every time I've heard a new language, I've rolled a d20, and if I get a natural 20, then I remember that I know that language. And I have not done it once. I've done it with let's see, I got religion and stealth from it.
Yeah.
And I think I have one more that I can get. So skill
You're
check or
gonna-
tools or something like that.
You'll end up
Yeah.
speaking Kraken eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lanthar, all right, come on, buddy. As he said, talks to his horse, and the horse.
Their horses don't really make sounds. It's weird.
That's low.
Shall we go?
All right. We go from here to the Tri-Spires.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not that it'll be too hard for you, but this will be a more difficult stealth check. As you do see, there's no one on the streets. It seems it's probably all guards and left. So, but you do have that. So actually, it does lower it. So you'll probably pass it. But go ahead.
34?
Do we still have Pass Without a Trace going?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
you still got Trace one on pass.
We're gonna say it just ends because that was a long but conversation. But
That's fair.
well, let's say this is the last one you get out of it.
Okay.
So actually, because you have the ashes, you are going to pass this. There's no way you're going to fail it. I'm not going to bother with it. That was your numbers.
Thanks.
But forgot it would have been higher, but the ashes help you out. So, yeah. However, here with Passages done, there are more standing guards. Though they, you see, these are not the Ebon Knights that you've been seeing. You come upon color, pink and red, almost continually bleeding, livers and intestines wrapped around skeletons that stand guarding the entrance here.
And this is the entrance into the
Tri-Spires.
Tri-Spire?
Yeah, the whole area. So there's a large area of the city is the Tri-Spires,
Okay.
like a district.
Do they seem to be sentient or non-sentient? Are they like, do they act humanish? Do they like scratch their ass in
Yeah.
the itch or no?
Yeah, these are more people-like behaviors.
Okay.
Let's
But
skirt our way
remember,
around some.
yeah.
And
So you want to try to find a
So-
different way to get in?
If it's obvious there's no way around them, yes.
Sort of an entrance gate, and they're kind of standing, looking. So it would be, unless you come up with a way around it. It's fairly lit, so.
Is there a wall nearby or some kind of like demarcation between this district and the other district?
There is a 30-foot stone wall that insulates the Tri-Spires.
Are there guards on top and is there a patrol cadence?
Well, you can see, you don't see any guards on top. You just see them standing in the actual gate here.
Is
oh,
there
you
enough...
know what we should do? We should give Royden's dragon a rope and have. Oh wait, never mind.
We could try that again. Yeah, that would be conceivable.
No,
Or
I
could
meant
just-
that entirely as a joke.
I mean, I can walk up the wall. I can be invisible and walk up the wall at the same time. There's plenty of options. What do I want to do? I mean, technically, I guess I could open. No, I can't open the wall. Can I open the wall? Hang on. Maybe. Let me think. So, talent consults the spell book for like 2
Oh.
seconds.
No, you say that. You say that.
Stone
Can-
wall, right?
Can we find a portion of that wall that isn't like super in public view?
You could try to find that. Would be perception, then a group stealth.
Jalen, is Royden going to cast Pass Without a Trace again, or do I need to burn another one?
He's not here right now.
Oh.
All right, well then I'll burn another one just so that we still have it.
Okay. Then I'll let you go. I'm not gonna keep
Hmm.
using that roll. Because you get pretty high. Yeah.
But a 23 on the perception.
Okay. Yeah. There are some buildings very close to the wall that, and where they come close to the wall is higher. So you could get up where you feel like you could climb probably a little more inconspicuously.
Well, Master Talk, I
No, no, no.
apologize.
I'm not one to climb over. I'm just wanting a chunk of the wall that is not super in public view.
Okay. Yes, there you could find that behind some houses.
Cool. I reach over to my cloak and pull off a patch that is a door, and put the patch on the wall.
That will work.
I've seen this trick.
I
I-
literally
I-
was like, there's some spells that were going to be really bad, but that works. So, and you have a doorway through the wall.
Let me mark that on my inventory as used.
I forgot to study that one today because like normally you can just never mind.
Did we get into the gate?
Soon.
Dude, are we in line?
Tonk made a door.
Oh, okay, stone shape. That's what I would have done if I had that.
No.
No,
but
he
roll
didn't make a
useful
door.
things.
He put a door on the wall.
He
Like a
said, "Look at
sticker.
look at this useful item, right quick."
Yeah.
What? Slapped it on the door.
You fucking chalk zoned that shit, bro.
He just went, ripped the patch off, and went, and boom, door.
I sometimes
Alright.
forget I have that thing. But yeah, cool. No, so we're in.
You come in. You're between two buildings. You can hear lyrical music coming in from slightly open windows in this very thin alleyway between. Again, the black grime is around here, but what looks like was, to your view, once extremely expensive and luxurious housing.
Cool. We try and make our way towards the palace.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
All
bring
right.
my loose slippers just in case.
All right. Now, here, not all citizens are allowed in this area. Therefore, it's a slightly higher stealth check, and I will have you all roll this one. Passes up from Tonk.
Yep.
So it's plus 10.
Wait. It's done, right? We have no more pass. Right?
You have
No,
it.
the
Oh,
Tonk
we do.
cast it again.
Oh, you can't. Okay. I was probably the best.
So let's see. All right,
34.
so 34,
34.
28.
36, 28, and one more. Simons?
36.
Damn.
Yes.
What was the lowest this time around?
28.
34,
28.
34, 20, 30, yeah, 28.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 33.6 stealth check, so go good.
Yikes.
Walking, you see a few mausoleums surrounded by tree stumps with animals, small ones, kind of running around them, are in the center of this area. Moving on, you stick to the shadow walls. You see a few people on porches and balconies, music playing. A few are walking away from this large building that seems to have, they all are carrying books that they may have borrowed, you're assuming, from a library there. There are temples that have been redone for different gods. This was specifically, you can see a temple of the Platinum Dragon, this large statue of the dragon cut into many pieces and put back together, but this time as a skeletal version.
The Platinum Dragon. They're worshipping a skeletal version of the Platinum Dragon.
Mhm.
What does all this mean? I'll tell you later.
On second thought, let's not go to the Deadlands. It's a silly place.
All right, and then you do see the 7 black flames, the palace, go around the palace gate. Around it are golden flames within. So 7 flames are on the exterior, lit up by golden flames the interior. And the palace is very busy. There are people within the courtyards, guards around, fully functional. And you can tell me how you'd like to do. You can get to this point of it. Other things here is there's regular stuff. There's like taverns and people are going in and out. There is a nightlife here.
Life of Knights or like a nightlife? Is that drunk undead everywhere or what?
There are people going through. It looks as though there's been either drinks or potions created that kind of do to them what alcohol would normally do, though it doesn't sound like any alcohol you'd know. As though someone's like, how can we get drunk? We got to figure this out.
The mysteries. Pure curiosity. Is it like a Friday night or like midweek or like, is it like, I can't say that. Is there a happy hour going on?
This seems like a big party night from what you can tell.
Okay.
More
Cool.
But there's just all basic culture nightlife here doesn't seem to have the curfew rules that the outside of it has. So it is still fairly working. And thus covered, you can get close to the gates, but how would you like to do this? What would you like to get into the palace? Or what's your next step here?
Is there like a palisade wall around the palace, or is it just a building that's?
It is a large wall. This one rises 50 feet up. There are like spikes going around it. On the spikes, occasionally you'll see what seems to be a still rotting head placed on it.
Of a mortal or
I mean, it looks like a humanoid head.
does it seem like a native or not?
It's 50 feet high. It'd be pretty hard for you to tell that.
I mean, my suspicion would be that it's one of the deep dwellers that got caught, but you know.
So you can't do that patch trick again, can you?
Well, that was the only door I had. I've got a couple windows.
Well, let's give it through a window, right?
I also have a pit, but that feels like it wouldn't necessarily be as useful to like get.
Yeah, so normally I just pop from place to place when I can see them, or sometimes I create walls, fire usually, but other walls are good too. But like, I don't have a good backup plan for this one.
Yeah. I would say these walls are 10 feet thick.
So an extra big patch.
Not sure what they're.
I can grab a rope and go over if you want, or we could try to sneak past, or diversion. Diversions are always good, right? Yeah. Do a barrel roll. That's a cool trick.
So I'm feeling we run at the wall, do a barrel roll, and scream parkour. Is that how it works?
Something about Star Fox, I forget. that. Do that. Do exactly that.
Do a barrel roll.
I mean, that's what Jajal usually does, right? Just parkour and then runs at things.
Right.
Well, I mean, he also just stabs his claws into things and just goes.
I mean, missing guards are usually suspicious, but maybe not here.
No, that was
maybe we
for
just
climbing.
Thinking we cannot
Should not.
slay them or should not,
Right.
or Lenthor
Right.
will come after us.
Yeah.
Did we bring our special climbing rope?
What is that? What did you guys climb before this? That's weird. Do you guys want me to just walk up the wall and plant a rope? Does that work?
I mean, I can also just climb up there. I mean, I'm not as fast, but I'm pretty decent at it.
I just literally walk on the wall. It's pretty fast.
The top
But
of the
does it-
wall, are there what kind of guards?
Make a perception check.
Yeah. I'll burn inspiration for this. So I know.
Also, if there are guards up there, Who do you think's gonna
Wow,
fare
that's
better by themselves
fucking tragic.
in close combat?
Wow.
You or
It's
me?
a 1 and a 2 for 12.
You don't see any guards walking up on the wall here. But I think
mean,
as you contemplate this, I think we're going to end here. And it is 11. I think this is where we go. So we've got some lore made our way to the palace wall. We have information that underneath could be a Bingles, and we will get all that going next week. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, Ryan, definitely you.